Imagine that as your vehicle. This is Sharon Huff, and I'm going to talk to you about reasons to not text and drive. Imagine that you are driving behind the wheel of your car. You forget to message your friend back about the weekend plans that you had. You end up swerving and hitting something. Your heart beats fast, and then you realize that something is actually a someone. It's a person. You think, how could I have struck someone? I just looked down for a second. The popularity of mobile devices and paying attention to them instead of the road can have life-changing consequences. Texting while you drive is known as multitasking and can be extremely detrimental, yet many of us continue to do this. First, I will talk about how it puts others at risk, then you, the driver, then I'll talk about what it can do to your insurance and insurance rates, and then I'll also talk about hands-free technology. So first, the risk that you take toward others. Well, there are many reasons to do things in life, some exciting, some necessary, some because we are just that passionate about it. There are also grounds for not doing certain things, like texting and driving. We know that it is wrong, yet we continue to use our phones behind the wheels of our vehicle. There are many reasons to avoid this harmful act. You're putting others' lives, including your passengers, at risk, according to Odyssey.com. When you answer a quick text or even look down at your phone for what just may seem a split second, you're putting others in danger. Imagine hitting a pedestrian, a young child coming along, fellow drivers. You don't realize how this could potentially affect a life. Every year in the US, almost 500,000 people are injured or killed in traffic accidents due to the combination of texting and driving, according to personalinjury.com. These statistics are disturbing, especially when this can be avoided altogether. Also, BuySociety.org claims that drivers who are texting while driving are 23% more likely to crash their cars. 23% more likely. This percentage is equivalent to that of the average person who drank 4 beers and then begins to operate a vehicle. So looking down and sending what you think is a quick text, unfortunately, can lead to disaster. Imagine having to tell someone that you are very sorry for injuring or even worse, killing their mother, their father, brother, sister, or child, maybe even their friend. I wouldn't think any of us would want to have that on our conscience or could even live with that for the rest of our lives. I know I couldn't. When I worked at a chiropractor's office years ago, we had a husband and wife, both patients that would come in, and the husband was actually killed at his mailbox by a 16-year-old who was texting and driving. Killed. Injured is bad enough, and he was killed. And that family, those were such tragic circumstances for that family. I couldn't even bear it. Think of the lives of the passengers in your car as well. They have no control over the situation. It is your responsibility to keep them safe. They're not thinking about the fact that when they get in the car with you, that could be their last ride. They could be injured. They could be killed. That's not where their mind is at. Accidents happen, yes, but in most cases they are preventable. Texting while driving is certainly preventable. Thinking of your own kids in your car. When I am driving my girls in the car, I pay more attention to the road. My phone is down. My husband knows it's down. If I'm off of work, I send a text in the parking lot. When he's off of work, he does the same thing. The phones go down. My girls are my priority when I'm driving. When my nephews and nieces also started to drive and they continue to drive, I always remind them, please put your phone down. Do not look at it. Do not text. If you get a message, pull over if you need to. So again, please think of others before you drive distracted. Next, I will talk about how you should think of your own safety while driving and not texting. And it puts you, the driver, at risk. It is imperative that you think about yourself and your own safety when you are behind the wheel. Texting while behind the wheel also puts you at risk. So now we're not just talking about others. This is your life. Trust me when I say to answer a text, it is not that important. No message out there, no text is that urgent when you can't pull over to answer it. So do just that. Pull over whenever you can. You could end up in a collision, severely injured, or even dead. That person can wait. Your reply can wait, even if it's an emergency pullover. You may think or feel like quickly looking down cannot really affect anything. That's all it takes is a split second. Statistics prove otherwise, and so do families who have lived through such tragedy and circumstances. They'll be the first ones to tell you. One of my massage clients had come to me and said the reason she was getting a massage was because she had hurt. She was in an auto accident. It's common. It happens. We get a lot of clients like that. She actually told me what happened was she was on Facebook. She was on Facebook reading it, and she hit a bus and totaled her car. And she didn't think really anything of it. She acted like it was a normal thing that she does all the time, texting and being on Facebook while driving. And I just find that just really sad. So to recap, your life is just as important as anyone else's. So be safe and put down the phone. Now I will move on to the reasons why insurance companies may hike up your rates while texting and driving. Your insurance premium could rise. You think everyone else is doing it, so why can't I? They're all texting. According to NBC News, American drivers are taking their eyes off the road more and more than we ever have before, and we are paying the price with our wallets, according to NBC.com. Since 2011, the average insurance premium has jumped 16%. You may think that's a low number, 16%. And while that statistic may not seem like much to the average young driver, when you're on your parents' insurance policy, and the spike in the insurance premium is due to your distracted driving on your smartphone, your parents are not going to be happy about that. The insurance company could also cancel your policy. If you have too many accidents because of distracted driving, insurance companies are more likely to cancel your policy as a customer. You are not acting responsibly, they see you as a hazard, and they are more likely to cancel that contract. When you text and drive, you may overestimate your reaction time and driving skills. The end result could be an accident, and when you become a hazard to them, like I said, you're gone, you're off the policy. So like I said, if you want to keep in good standing with your insurance company, pay attention to the road and the road only. Finally, I'll talk about the technology that is available for hands-free driving. Hands-free driving is something I want to talk about because I don't necessarily condone it. This is something that if you absolutely have to do, and I'll explain why. Hands-free driving offers the opportunity to continue multitasking and staying connected while driving, according to CrossleyLaw.com. Now, the only reason I would ever consider this as a possibility for anyone is in a situation where it's necessary, like an emergency. For example, if you're driving, you notice a car behind you that's been following you for a while, you need to connect with somebody, call 911, call the police, and you can do that, hands-free. It's the better way to be calm, to be safe, and not be in an accident. New research from the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute states that drivers who use hands-free electronic devices, as opposed to handheld ones, are less likely to get into a crash, according to phys.org. And there's types of hands-free devices that I'll talk about next. One common type of hands-free technology is Bluetooth. Most of us are familiar with that. Many vehicles have this standard as well as an option to communicate while driving. You have the little piece that goes in your ear, both hands on the steering wheel at all times, and that's a safer option. Your hands can be on the wheel the entire time, and in some states, it's also only the legal way. In-car navigation is another type. While the safest choice while driving is to not text or use technology at all, and avoiding all calls altogether, some vehicles come equipped with hands-free calling and voice navigation. You can just use your voice. Toyota does this. There's other vehicles as well. You are able to perform quite a few common functions actually without ever having to take your hands off the wheel, so you can focus on the road. You can say the number of the contact name that you want to communicate with. So I've talked about the reasons to not text while driving as a safety measure for you, for others, why it's not good for you as far as your insurance company, and also the other options like hands-free technology. So in conclusion, unless you are a superhero, which none of us are, do not text and drive. I urge people young and older to pull over. Please pull over before you send a text, before you call. Distracted driving does not discriminate. Thank you.